Poor girl texted the CEO by mistake. He sent a nanny and doctor when he read, "Twins have fever." It was past midnight when Ava clutched her phone with trembling fingers, rocking her feverish twins in her tiny one-bedroom apartment. The soft hum of the heater was barely masking their whimpers. She had tried everything: cool towels, homemade remedies, even leftover fever medicine that had expired 2 months ago. She had no car, no money for a cab, and the free clinic didn't open until morning. Desperation made her do it. Scrolling through old messages, she searched for Dr. Levine, the pediatrician who had once helped at the shelter where she volunteered. She typed a frantic message: "Please, the twins have fever. Hi. I don't know what to do. Can't afford hospital. Help." She hit send without double-checking the number, praying someone, anyone, would answer. Miles away, in a glass tower surrounded by the silence of the city night, Nathaniel Blake, CEO of one of the country's biggest tech firms, was still in his office. He was known for his discipline, his no-nonsense leadership, and his complete disinterest in personal messages after work. But that night, something tugged at him to glance at his personal phone, which buzzed once on the corner of his desk. He picked it up. A single message, from an unknown number. He almost dismissed it until his eyes caught the words, "Twins have fever, can't afford hospital, help." The world stilled. He didn't know who she was. It had to be a wrong number. But he didn't hesitate. In less than 5 minutes, he had his assistant on the line, arranging for a private pediatrician and an experienced nanny to head to the address he traced through the phone number. He included a note: "Stay until the children are better. Spare nothing. Tell her, help is here." He had no idea what made him act so quickly. Maybe it was the word twins, a faint echo of something he had lost long ago and locked away. Maybe it was the unfiltered panic in that message. Whatever it was, he acted before logic could interfere. Ava almost didn't answer the knock on her door at 1 a.m. She was terrified. The twins were burning up, and her hands were shaking as she opened it a crack. A kind-looking woman in scrubs stood there, alongside a middle-aged nanny with warm eyes and calm hands. "We're here to help. Mr. Blake sent us," the doctor said softly. "Mr. who?" Ava asked, confused. But there was no time to explain. Within minutes, the doctor had assessed the babies, Liam and Lila, administered medicine, cooled them down, and reassured Ava that they'd be okay. The nanny held them gently as they drifted to sleep, while Ava sat stunned on her couch, watching everything like it was a dream. She later learned the truth. The message she thought she sent to Dr. Levine had gone to Nathaniel Blake, a man whose contact she had stored years ago from a volunteer event his company had sponsored at her shelter. She had never spoken to him. Never met him in person. She had no reason to believe he'd even remember the place, let alone care. But he did. The next morning, Ava received a call. It was him. "Hi, Ava. This is Nathaniel Blake. I received your message last night." His voice was calm but earnest. "I hope the twins are doing better." Ava, holding back tears, could barely speak. "They're okay. I didn't mean to message you. It was a mistake. I'm so sorry." Nathaniel paused. Maybe it was a mistake. Or maybe it wasn't. They talked. She told him about losing her job during the pandemic, about raising twins alone after their father walked out, about scraping by with 2 part-time jobs and dreams that never got the chance to grow. Nathaniel listened. Really listened. And when he spoke again, it wasn't from a boardroom or behind a wall of privilege. "I lost a son once," he said quietly. "He was 3. Leukemia. We tried everything. All the money in the world, and I still couldn't save him. But you held those babies through the night with nothing but your strength. That's the kind of power that changes things." Ava cried silently, overwhelmed not by pity, but by the sincerity in his voice. It was the first time in years someone had spoken to her as more than just a poor girl with too many problems. That week, Ava received an offer, a job at a new community outreach program funded by Blake Enterprises. It was flexible, designed for mothers like her, with childcare included. The company paid for the twins' medical care, helped her find a better apartment, and offered therapy sessions to help her recover from years of silent struggle. But it wasn't the money or the job that changed Ava. It was what Nathaniel said during a follow-up call a few weeks later: "You didn't ask me for anything except help. And that takes strength. I see potential in you, not charity. Let me invest in that." Over the next months, Ava bloomed. She poured herself into the program, eventually leading a new initiative to connect single mothers with mentorship and job training. The twins grew stronger, always smiling, always safe. She even visited the corporate office once, where she finally met Nathaniel in person. He wasn't what she expected, less polished, more human. They talked about everything and nothing. And when she thanked him again, he simply said, "You saved them. I just showed up." The story eventually got out, not because Nathaniel wanted the spotlight, but because Ava told it during a speech at a nonprofit gala. Sometimes, hope arrives through the smallest doors: a knock in the middle of the night, a wrong number, a stranger who answers, she said, her voice shaking. We all have the power to be that answer for someone. And that's what makes humanity beautiful. People wept. People gave. People changed. Today, Ava runs her own foundation helping women in crisis, and Nathaniel remains quietly involved. He never stopped checking in on the twins, never forgot the night that a wrong number reminded him that some mistakes are really just fate dressed in urgency. And Ava? She never called herself poor again. Because someone believed in her when she had nothing, and taught her that compassion, when passed on, becomes a legacy. Moral: one moment of kindness can become the turning point in someone's life. And sometimes, the greatest transformations begin with a misdialed number and a heart willing to respond.